Hello, everyone. Good evening here on the East Coast. But let me tell you, it's good morning to all of you who are catching us from where our guest is from. I'm so excited. We've had guests from other countries before. I've had Canada, I've had the UK, and tonight I can officially say I have my first guest coming to us from Australia. How cool is that? I'm sorry, I'm so giddy right now. All right, enough of my dorkiness. We are live with StreamYard. If you are catching us live, thank you. First of all, thank you. If you're catching us live from Facebook, if you could take a few seconds just to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, that allows StreamYard and Facebook to talk to each other, give the opportunity that if you leave a comment for us during the broadcast, then we could not only just see your comment, but then also your beautiful photo and name, because, we want to know who's talking to us, give you a little shout out during the show. How fun would that be? This year I am all about acceptance, love, and faith with hashtag 2020U. Please spread the love and good vibes to all your friends and family. I'm selfishly using you all as my accountability buddies, so feel free to use me as one as well. But this year is all about accepting myself more, loving myself more, and just having more faith in myself. Because let's face it, we all need a little bit of that for ourselves. So spread it, the love, the good vibes everywhere, please. My invite friends button. Let's speak about good vibes here. My invite friends button on Facebook is gone. I can't invite anybody to like Small Biz Highlight on Facebook, unfortunately. But with your help, we can still spread the word about Small Biz Highlight and let everybody know we exist. It takes 2 seconds. You either share and comment on this video, find a comment or a post that I've made previously and share it to your timelines, what have you. Spreading that quick message that takes 2 seconds gives not only the opportunity for the current guest to be highlighted a little bit more and more attention brought to them, but it also gives the opportunity for every single episode I've had so far have the opportunity to be viewed, seen. You never know who on your timeline is looking for a specific product, a specific, service out there. And one of my guests could be the person that can help them out. You never know. Please share away. Help the word get spread about Small Biz Highlight. Please, I'm begging you. On the 20th of every month, I am going to be hosting my networking game night featuring Top Tail. Big shout out to my friends at Yub Nub Games. We take time to introduce ourselves, our businesses, but we are focused on getting to know each other as human beings, not just what we can do for each other. So we take Top Tail's quirky little topics and have a lot of fun getting to know each other. Please take time to register. Join us. It's a lot of fun. I promise you won't regret it. You won't regret it. Every year I host a live virtual vendor event for Small Business Saturday. And when I tell you that this coming year's Small Business Saturday event is going to be huge, ginormous, monstrous. Like, I need bigger word. I need to look for a thesaurus for another word for huge. Like, honestly, it's mutated and taking on a life of its own. And I cannot wait to tell you more details. But I have to for now because I'm still working them out. And I don't want to divulge too much too soon and just overwhelm you guys. So bear with me. It's coming. Thanks to our sponsor, Text for More. It's so easy to get access to all the information that is Small Biz Highlight. Just text Small Biz to 717-670-6400. That'll give you access to a link that will take you to our main hub. Gives you a quick little overview of all the services we provide, the shows we offer, what have you. And of course, the links on how to become a guest, how to get involved, and so much more. So please take time to check that out for yourselves. And of course, in this day and age, there is an app for everything, and Small Biz Highlight is no different. Small Biz Highlight has an app on Google Play and Apple App Stores featuring every single episode that we have had, excluding tonight's episodes, of course. Duh, I need to finish them first. But then they will be uploaded and ready to view easily on the app. Please take the time to download it and check it out. Let me know, give me feedback. Let me know how I can change it, how I can organize it better, if it makes sense, what have you. I want to learn from you to make this app better, because making the app better benefits those small businesses that I feature. So please help me. All right. So that's enough of my rambling, and I'll go back to my giddiness. I'm so excited. So excited. All right. So Rachel is joining us from Australia, which she tells me it's like 9:30 her time over there. So it's bright and early in the morning when I'm getting ready for bed soon, which is crazy. But I am so excited to have my first Australian guest on the show. So let's bring her on before I get way too giddy. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm so excited. It's so cool doing these international interviews. It's just like, it's so exciting. So
It is exciting. I'm so, when I saw that you were from Australia, I could not wait for the interview tonight. I was like, oh gosh, I hope this comes through okay. And of course, because the accent, I needed the accent in my life. I'm in the military. And when I was deployed, I had a stint where I stayed in Kuwait, and there was an Air Force unit from Australia there. And I'm not going to lie, if I was not at my office, I was usually sitting in the terminal section of the airport there, just so that I could listen to the Australians talk, because that's all I wanted to listen to.
I love it. I'm glad
one of those weirdos. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's awesome. Glad to share my Australian accent with you.
I'm so excited to have you here. Beyond just the accent and the fact that you're my first Australian guest, I know you have an amazing business, and I'm so excited to be a part of your journey and spreading the word about it. But first, as you know, I'm all about connections and helping people get to know who you are as a person first. So, Rachel, help us get to know you a little bit more. Who are you?
Yeah, so look, my name is Rachel, but I go by probably the better known name as that camera girl on all my social media and my business. I think it's one of those really Aussie kind of names as well. It kind of came from a nickname. Like people would just call me the camera girl because they didn't remember what my name was. So I morphed that into being basically the formation of my business. But yeah, my main focus in life, I suppose, is all things video and just helping people feel confident to talk on video, share their brand on video, do stuff like this where we can talk internationally on video live to all these awesome people. Just, how far technology has come. It's quite amazing. So that is what I spend my days and nights thinking about, is just making better videos and helping everyday people get themselves out there on video too.
Wow. Okay. So that camera girl, I know on your photo that you sent me, you had an actual camera on you. So do you actually take photos, or do you just focus on the camera aspect of going live and whatnot?
Yeah, primarily video. So my business started as doing video production for small business. But then as everything kind of got turned upside down in 2020 with COVID and started to move more towards my long-term goals a lot faster, because eventually I really wanted to do more of the teaching and coaching side of things and just helping people put video into their business themselves. But then while I'm sitting at home and I couldn't go out and actually work with clients, we kind of had to rethink the whole business side of things. Like, okay, what I can do sitting in my office like this is help people implement video in their business while they're also at home. So it probably fast forwarded the long-term goals I had still now. And, where we are in Brisbane, able to go out and work with clients again, which is awesome, helping them make, high quality videos. So yeah, it's just an ever moving beast at the moment, really. But yeah, just doing what we can.
How fortunate for you, though, that you focus more on videos. So then, when the pandemic hit, it may have been a hard hit that you couldn't go meet with your clients in person, or, you couldn't go do the recordings in person because we were all shut down in our homes. But you still were able to pivot. I've been saying that word a lot.
Yeah.
Every time my boyfriend hears me say pivot, he immediately thinks of the Friends episode with the couch and just starts cracking up laughing and cannot stop saying it. But so I'm just gonna hear pivot all night tonight.
Yeah.
But no, that's the one thing about the shutdowns that just has been very beneficial to a lot of businesses. The fact that they had to, they were already starting towards a path to be digital, but then the pandemic kind of just like forced them into it a lot sooner than they were expecting. But I'm sure it's a really great feeling to know that, despite everything that went on with the shutdowns, that, you were able to keep going with your business and help people.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where after the initial blow and the initial shock, it's like, okay, well, all I can focus on is what I can control and what I can do. So what does that look like? And, I had one situation where I had a client who lived in New South Wales, which is the state south of the border to Queensland. And I had filmed already some videos with her for an online course. And then the borders closed and we couldn't go out. It's like, okay, how are we going to possibly get this done? We're halfway through this project. So what we ended up doing was I helped her over Zoom set up her office space for filming. She had a camera because she wanted to do more stuff herself. And we set up her office. We set up her camera and her audio and her lighting all remotely over Zoom. She recorded the videos and sent them to me. I edited them, sent them back to her, and then she did the rest. And it was one of those,
amazing.
Like, we're going to make this work, and it was so cool that we were able to do that and just sending stuff back and forwards, jumping on and chatting and just figuring it out. Just, otherwise we would have had to wait months, and that would, put her business behind its goals. And so, yeah, it was just awesome to come up with these kind of, workarounds to be able to get things done that.
Yeah. That had to make her feel good on a certain level too, because she wasn't 100 dependent on you to figure everything out and do all the back work. Like, she was actually learning how to do some of the stuff for herself so that, it could benefit her in the long run too. I love sharing information. And I think that's so cool that, you were willing to do that. I don't, I'm sure there's people out there that might not feel comfortable doing that because then they feel like they're taking away from their business if they're telling people how to do stuff. But, I think that's really great that you were willing to, coach her through it and whatnot. And I mean, it's got to be part of the reason why it's evolved into this coaching part of your business where you're teaching people to be comfortable on camera.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you say as well about, you don't want to kind of give everything away because it might take away from your business. But I think, well, for me, that really added to my business in a different way, because then I've basically had a dry run with her because I'd known her for many years. We've done lots of projects together. So I can do this whole coaching remote setup with her. And then because we had a good outcome, like, okay, that's like another offering I can have for my business for anyone that's, outside of Queensland or Australia or whatever it might be. So it's like, probably always looking on the bright side. It's one of my my favorite quirks about myself, I suppose. Like, no matter what, we're gonna have a bright side of this. So yeah, just finding ways to evolve the business, like no matter what's going on.
Wow. Okay. So you've evolved into this business where you're helping people get more comfortable on camera. What does that typically look like? Is it like a one-on-one coaching situation, or are you doing group coaching, or what have you?
Mostly it's been one-on-one up until now, or even, just sharing videos on my YouTube or whatever that might be. And a lot of it has been working in person or working remotely over Zoom, because it all probably started from doing the in-person video production. And I'd look at it going, okay, I can make the shots look really nice and the video can look really nice, but if the message isn't there and the message isn't strong, then the rest of the video doesn't really have that impact. So it kind of started from there, just working with clients who I was filming videos with. And then I noticed that every person was having these same issues, these same, hang-ups about talking on camera. And then we break it down to, okay, like, why are you doing this in the first place? And, they'd get into this different mindset of like, oh, well, most of the time it's I want to help this certain person, and just get them into that other mindset of not thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm talking to the whole world in this little camera, to go, okay, I'm going to help this one person who is going to be my client or my customer, and just bring that back into like a much smaller way of looking at things and taking it back to here instead of here.
Yes.
And yeah, then as I, work with all different clients and just talk to different people over social media who are wanting to get into the video space, it's kind of just working, case by case, I guess, person by person with individual questions. They often end up having the same answer, but it's always just, helping that one person with what is it that they're worried about jumping in front of the camera, and just having that conversation with someone and, showing that I actually care, that people actually care about what they're doing. And yeah, it helps them really come out of their shell. And it's just the most awesome thing to see. And I see them post a video, or if it's something they've made or I've made for them, and getting themselves out there, it's just one of the most rewarding things about what I do.
It's like a proud mama moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's terrifying. I'm not gonna, it's terrifying going live on camera, especially when it's not something you're used to. I remember when I first started the show, episode 1, I was pretty much doing Lamaze before hitting the live button, breathing in and out, good enough. I was trying to calm down. I remember my first guest was like, "Are you okay? Are we actually going to do this?" I'm like, "I promise we're going to do this. Just give me a second. All right, give me a second." No, but it came a lot from on my end. It was more about taking that chance on myself, putting myself out there to people and allowing people to get to know me a little bit more, because, I was intending to help spread the word about these small businesses. It wasn't about me. The show was never about me in general. I just happened to end up being the guest, the host of it. I mean, you know what I mean? And the more I go live, I still do a deep breath in and out, but it's not Lamaze anymore. It's just a quick one. But, but it's so crazy how the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. And then, something happens, technicalities, whatever, and then you're thrown for a loop, but you learn to grow from them. And you're right. A big factor in all of that for someone who's just starting out is someone like you, who's there to, let them know that they can do this, that it's absolutely possible, and be that support system for them, because I wish I knew you before then. Maybe I wouldn't have had to do Lamaze before going live if I had met you before.
Oh, absolutely.
So what would you say is probably the most common issues people have with going live?
Yeah, definitely what you said about, people just getting to know you and you being comfortable with putting yourself out there. And I think when we think about just jumping live on video, like as a whole, as this daunting thing, it's like, well, what if people judge me? What if this? What if that? It's all these like what ifs. But I'd like to, like challenge you, like, are these what ifs really gonna come to fruition? Are they really, I think we build things up in our head. I definitely did, built it up so much. And it's just something that we're not practiced at, is hearing and seeing ourselves talking, because, the only time we really see ourselves is in a reflection in a mirror, in photos, which, we never actually see ourselves the way other people see us. So when we jump on camera, that's something that we're totally not used to. We're not used to hearing the sound of our own voice, just because we've never done it before. Before you do anything, when you're a kid, you learn to ride a bike. It's just like that. It's just practice doing something you've never done before. And normally the first step, if someone is, really nervous about getting on camera at all, I'd say jump on and just film an Instagram story or something really small and really basic.
Ooh,
and,
okay.
On Instagram and Facebook especially, I think it's moving a lot more towards people want to see more of the natural look of someone. So, people jump on their stories and their makeup's not done and they're just there with their morning coffee, and that's so much more normal, I think more accepted. So, just jump on, do a really quick update about your business or introduce yourself for the first time. And, you can just do a 15-second Instagram story just to practice. And the more that you do that, again and again, you get used to seeing yourself, hearing yourself, just talking. And it helps your audience get to know you as well straight away, the more that they see you. And you start to build that confidence in yourself. And you go from someone who's never done video before, who's really nervous and could never do it, to someone who's suddenly done all these little videos. And it just, it flicks something in your brain, just to actually do the thing that you're afraid of. It shrinks it a lot, and it makes you far less afraid of doing it again the next time.
Whew. Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And your business is growing to even outside of just the videos and video production and whatnot. You have a blog on your website. You have a podcast of your own. Love that. I mean, I looked at a couple of your blog posts, very informative, a lot of great information and really easy to follow along with. Sometimes I feel like bloggers like get really into what they're saying and forget that the normal people don't always understand what they're talking about, but you did. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. No, but tell us more about, what your podcast is about.
Yeah, so the podcast is probably a little bit left of field of video. It was something that I started during COVID. And, I've always been really interested in mindset. And if you're going to do anything in this world, it has to start with having the right mindset. And that's where Mindset Mastery came about. And it was actually this funny conversation because I'd, jumped on video, put myself out there already, but I had thought, I could never do a podcast. Like, I'm not that interesting. I had all these issues come up. And then, like you said before, it's like, well, yes. It's not about me. It was about, I interview people who have a great story to tell, or they might be experts in the field of mindset, neuroscience, all these different things. So having to get over that myself in a totally different way, because somehow, video and podcasting, it seems so vastly different. But out of that, for me, I'm learning all these things that can help my clients in my business and myself, but also sharing all these awesome stories and all this information about the mind and the brain from all these experts. So as much as it started off as a bit of a just a project just to see where it could go and what could happen, it's definitely just helped that, as a whole, it's helped my business and it's helped me be able to help my clients and everything as well. So yeah, it's just such, you never know what's going to happen when you start these kinds of projects. I don't know about what you thought when you started Small Biz Highlight, but yeah, I had no idea.
Definitely not this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just started this during the pandemic. I remember the shutdowns just started here. I'm in Pennsylvania, and they started around April timeframe. I was working full time, but I just hated the idea about all these small businesses that now were forced to stay home and no way to let their customers know that they're still functioning some way or another, or that they could still reach out to them, because a lot of small businesses don't have those budgets for advertising like other big companies do. So, I reached out to a couple of my friends that I knew had small businesses, said, hey guys, I don't know what I'm doing, but let's go live. Facebook says videos get viewed more on their algorithm and stuff. Let's go live. Let's talk about you, talk about your business, how COVID's really affecting you. And then maybe one person will reach out to you, hopefully. if one person comments or reaches out to you, then I feel like I've done something to help you. And, I had a really slow start to the show and then eventually it started to pick up, and I mean now I'm almost at 2 years 113 episodes. You're 113. And I mean, it has been a crazy journey. And then turning the episodes into a podcast, simply because someone came to me with this like mind-blowing moment where it's like, okay, you interview these people on video, but what if people can't sit there and watch a video? People walk around and listen to podcasts while they're doing groceries, while they're doing whatever. You should turn it into a podcast. And it was just one of those moments where like I was, why didn't I think of this before?
Yeah.
But this world that we have brought ourselves into is definitely a busy one. It's very, but it's very rewarding. You know, I'm interviewing people. You're doing the next step further and getting people to be comfortable on camera. I have had a few people that before we go live, oh gosh, I'm so nervous. And and I feel like that's why I keep my interviews conversational, so that they're not stressing about what the next question is. They're just worried about just answering that moment what the question is. And it's been helpful, and helps them maintain nerves a little bit. So I'm sure those are the kind of things you talk about while you're going with them through your trainings and whatnot. Oh man. But I am loving everything that you're doing for your clients. I love, that you have that heart to just want to help people as much as possible. It's just something that, when you see people like that, you just really got to take advantage of the opportunity to get to know them a lot more. You know what I mean? Because there's so many people out there that say they're about that, and then their vibe is just totally different. But when you get the same vibe from them, that you hear what they're saying, you can't deny it. You got to give them that opportunity. I mean, for anyone who is thinking about starting a show like this, or maybe you want to do a little commercial thing, or maybe you want to do a coaching business, and you want to pre-record your sessions like she mentioned earlier that she helped one of her clients for. I mean, and what is holding you back is that you are scared to go on camera. I've got Rachel for you. I mean, she's in Australia, but I mean, with the digital world that we live in today, you could literally help anybody from everywhere, right?
Yeah, that's what's so good. Literally we jump on a Zoom call and we can basically do all of the same things that we would do in person, which I think is just absolutely fantastic.
It is. It just really takes business to a whole other level, especially in a digital platform like this, where you don't have to just focus on Australia to be your client base. Now you could easily have me as a customer all the way over here in Pennsylvania, and it won't be any different because we have the internet to connect us.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things, being able to connect with people all over the world. And I know, especially when I did my first international podcast episode, I'm sitting there exactly the same as you, jumping on going, oh my gosh, this person is in America, and like I'm speaking to them. It was just, it's one of those awesome things that, I just still can't get used to it. It's
so mind-blowing, because if it weren't for this show and whatnot, I would have never met you. I mean, I want to go to Australia, but Lord only knows when that's gonna happen, if it's gonna happen. I mean, but I just love the whole aspect of how easy it is to connect with people from so many different backgrounds and so many different countries and cities and everything around the world, because then I just feel like that's just opening you up to learn so much more about cultures, about backgrounds, because there's there's always so many stereotypes and preconceptions about people because of what we watch on TV, movies, and whatnot. And I just feel like this is such a huge part of the education, to actually get to know people for how they actually are versus how we're told they are. If you know what I mean.
Absolutely right. Yeah. And, I feel really, really fortunate that I can say I literally have friends all over the world because, connect with them like this, connect with them on all different podcasts, and they're in different time zones in different countries, but I have all these people in my network. So that's so awesome.
So if someone wanted to work with you, I'm assuming there's an initial, can't even talk now, an initial call that they can start out with to, get a feel for if you would be a good fit for them to work with, what they're looking for help with. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can just jump onto my website. Pretty sure I can see it down here at the bottom of the screen. Jump on there and just fill out a contact form, and then we'll chat about, you know, when we can talk, what you want to talk about. But until then, I also have heaps of videos on my YouTube channel if you just want to jump on and see if any of your questions can be answered there. But yeah, just contact me pretty much any of my social media and we can line up a time. And yeah, it'd be awesome. I'd love to talk to you about jumping on camera. It's like my favorite thing, working with people who have never done it before. So if that's you, I'd love to chat with you.
Wow. Yes, I'm telling you guys, if in 2022 you gave yourself a goal of starting your own show or getting something recorded or what have you, getting in front of a camera in general, and you don't know where to start or you're too scared to press that button like I have been so many times before, you know, Rachel could be your answer. And honestly, how cool would it be to say, yeah, I have a coach. She's all the way in Australia. I'm sorry. That
cool.
For me is pretty cool. Yeah, I got friends in Australia. What can I say?
So cool.
No, but I mean, honestly, she has a YouTube channel. You can absolutely take a look at her previous videos, see what she's like, how she answers questions, approaches different aspects of being live on video or pre-recording videos. See if that's something you're looking for help with. And like she said, reach out to her. Her information for all of you watching us on video has been scrolling at the bottom of the screen since she started talking. So hit pause, whatever. But to make it easier for you, the description of the video has the links to, easily clickable. If you are catching us on our podcast episode, thank you, first of all. Second of all, it's in the description of the podcast episode too. Click away, get in contact with her, and see how Rachel can help you. Simple as that. The camera girl. That camera girl is who you need to get in touch with. I want to thank you, Rachel, for being on my show from all over, all the way across the globe, basically.
Yeah.
All the way on the other side of the world. This is so cool.
Thank you, Tiffany. I love what you're doing. I love the show. It's so good. So thank you so much for having me on. It's been an absolute blast. And yeah, just I'm so grateful that you have set up this amazing community for small business, because yeah, it's just supporting small business is one of my other number one things. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this.
Well, thank you. Oh, all right. So if you are just catching us, you missed my very first episode with my very first guest from Australia. That's all you need to know. No, that's not all you need to know. Rachel is helping people get comfortable with being on camera from all over the world, and you need to get with her if that is something you're striving for this year. It's brand new year, still plenty of time to set those goals for yourself for the year. Why not getting comfortable in front of camera be one of them? Just saying, everybody. So if you have your own business, if you have a favorite business local to you, somebody with a small business, and you feel like they need to be featured on this show, just like Rachel here, send them my way. I would love to interview them, get them featured on the show, spread the word about what they're doing and how people can reach them, because that's obviously what the show is all about. Spread the word, people. But with that, everyone, I will leave you with your friendly reminder to put your communities first. We do this by shopping small and supporting local. Have a great night, everyone, and I will see you next week on Small Biz Highlights.